The whole thing is a lot of people talk about print on demand, but they have no idea what print on demand really means. So in today's conversation, before I speak about how to start a print on demand Shopify store, I want to clarify the whole concept behind print on demand. So print on demand is a process whereby inventory is only printed to an item when there is a demand for it. There has to be a demand. Okay, and imagine a warehouse full of inventory such as t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, towels, and what have you. And they're all plain. There are no designs on them. So the warehouse becomes your infinite virtual inventory, right? So you can now sell a t-shirt to a customer that has, let's say a customer has asked for a specific design. You can sell this particular garment to him or her. Okay, before print on demand, you have to go through a constellation of processes to get that to the customer, and it's very expensive at that. So the thing is, if you're thinking about having many qualities, many designs, many sizes, and if you have this in inventory, tangible inventory, you could lose a lot of cash, especially if it doesn't sell. So print on demand actually has eradicated that threat. So now everything is virtual. You wait for the demand before you actually print the stuff, before you actually offer it. So how do you actually jumpstart your business, your print on demand business? Well, you actually can launch for less. All right. You can start your business with minimal cost. Using the print on demand service means saving on inventory space and not paying for products until you have sold them. You can work on what matters. You can sell globally. Think about it. I mean, if working on what matters is really great because you can fulfill and ship orders with only a few clicks. Print on demand services free up time to perfect your products, optimize your marketing, and talk with your customers. You can sell globally. Imagine that you're here, you're in New York, or you're in Teaneck, New Jersey. You can grow your business by selling to customers all over the world. Print on demand services provide a low risk way to find what works best for you and your business also, because you can actually test for success. You can see what works and what doesn't work, okay? And you can also expand your brand. Remember, you can add your existing logo or designs to products handpicked for your audience. You can create and sell custom branded clothing, wall art, phone accessories, housewares, and more. And even if you don't have a design, I'll speak about that later on. If you don't have a design, no problem. You can still leverage the power of print on demand by commissioning custom designs or by buying existing designs that fit your particular brand. So now that everything is clear in terms of the concept itself, let's get into the steps you need to follow if you're trying to start a print on demand Shopify store. First, you need to set up Shopify. I mean, this is just pure logic, right? The first part is to sign up for Shopify. And the cool thing we love about the whole process is that you don't need a credit card, and you can even have a 14-day free trial, which you can extend. So this is kind of cool. That this is a riskless sort of enterprise here. And the thing is that so setting up a Shopify store is not really complicated. Okay, it takes about 5 minutes. They'll ask you basic questions about your name, first name, last name, and whatnot. They'll ask you for your email. They'll ask you to actually confirm your email address. Okay, and once you actually are all set up, once you're all set, you need to actually customize your store look a little bit, right? So you need to pick a theme. You need to change the colors. You need to actually add your logo, and you also need to set up certain pages. This is really important. For example, about us, like your store. You got to talk about your store. You want to connect with your visitors or with your customers. You also need to have your contact us page, which is really important. And you also need to generate policy and terms in the settings, but everything is actually automated for you. Okay, once you pick a theme, everything is done automatically. It's populated. You don't need to actually sort of do anything yourself. Okay, and don't forget to enable Shopify payments, and you also need to have a general check through the settings to see you have covered everything. Okay, so once you have set up your Shopify store, you are ready to move to the next step. Now, we have actually covered Shopify store setup on another show. That's why I'm actually I'm not really spending a lot of time here. But if you are interested in the topic and you have questions, just ask us below. We'll certainly link you to that video, or we can even answer other questions you may have. Step number 1, you want to set up Shopify. Step number 2, you want to add a print-on-demand provider. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We're still having a conversation about how to make a print-on-demand Shopify store, how to start a successful one. So once you have a basic Shopify store set up, you will need to choose your print-on-demand provider. And depending on where you are in the world, you'll ideally pick a provider which has the fastest shipping time to your customers. So if you're in the States, as are, let's say 99% of our viewers, you want to choose one that is actually closer to your state. I mean, in your state, or has warehouses in your state. Okay. And let me just share with you the more popular print-on-demand providers that you might want to consider. And the cool thing is that they all have apps in the Shopify App Store. So when you have chosen your provider, you just need to install their app. It's very fast. So you have Printful. So Printful is actually based in the US. They ship worldwide. Printify. They are based in the US and in the UK, and they ship worldwide. You have Gooten. They are based in the US. They ship globally. You have Print Aura. They are based in the US. They ship worldwide. Then you have Pixels. They're actually based in the US, the UK, Canada, EU, Australia, and they ship worldwide. When I say based, in other words, they have warehouses. Okay. And then you have Kite. Kite is based in the UK, and they ship globally. Then you have Ink Threadable. They're actually based in the UK. They ship globally. And then you have Custom Cat. They are based in the US. And what I want to say here is that all of those players, and there are many more. I mean, this list is not exhaustive at all. I mean, you have Print Shop, you have a Spread Shop, you have a lot of other players. What I want to say here is that you have to actually find one that actually suits you in terms of proximity to your customers, but also in terms of the fees that they're charging, and also the assortments of designs and the assortments of products they are actually offering, right? Because you want to have a player that has a large inventory of products to sell to your customers. Step number 3. You need to set up designs and inventory. This is very important. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're still having a conversation about how to make a print-on-demand Shopify store. So the big question is, how do you get designs? Now, there are 3 options. 3 options, only 3. Nothing complicated. Remember that getting proper designs are are pivotal. Why? Your designs lay the foundation of the products, who it will appeal to, how you market it, what competition there is, and if your product will actually sell. Okay, it is really the foundation. You want to think of it that way. So there are 3 options. So the first option is to make the designs yourself. If you are artistically inclined, if you have some kind of talent, then do it yourself. If you're savvy with Photoshop, Illustrator, you can do things yourself. The only thing is, remember, this option can be time consuming because you have to really do things yourself. It can be tiring. But if you love it, go ahead and do it, okay? And you can also use a better alternative to Photoshop, Illustrator, like Creator AI, where you can generate high quality, royalty-free images in seconds using just your imagination. You simply describe the image you want generated, and artificial intelligence will create it for you. The second option is to pay a professional designer. This way you can ensure that your designs will at least be the correct dimensions and format for print on demand. So whether they sell or not is based on how good your designer is. However, the better the designer, the more expensive he or she will be. Okay, this can be quite a costly route. So the first option takes a lot of time and a lot of learning curve. Second option takes a lot of money. The third option, you just buy professional designs that are already made. Yeah. This is by far the best option for most. You can purchase professional designs ready-made, which have a proven record of selling and are niche perfect. You can get professional designs from places like Fiverr and Etsy. So this is totally possible. Step number 4, you want to set up products. Okay, so this is really important. Now, how do you do this? Well, depending on what print-on-demand provider you have chosen, you will have to actually set up inventory, right? So they all have their different strategies. So make sure that you choose one that really appeals to you, that really is in sync with your products, your target audience. Okay, and the thing here is that you want to actually take the time, before choosing one print-on-demand provider, make sure you test them. Test 2 or 3 to make sure that you're comfortable with the whole process. Okay, but it is very easy. Whether you choose a Printful, Printify, Guten, Print-Aura, Pixels, Kite, Ink, Threadable, or Custom Cat, they have a pretty straightforward walkthroughs that will allow you to actually set up your products real quick. The thing is not about selling the products. The thing is more about how do the products appear in general. Are the designs captivating? And what are their fees? That's what we care about. Because it's not about just setting up your designs. I mean your products, launching your store. You got to pay attention to the cost, because remember, your major cost is how much the print-on-demand provider is charging you, because you have no cost really. And sometimes they can charge you like up to 80% of the cost of the item. Sometimes 70%, sometimes 60%. It's really important. So you want to spend time developing exactly what kind of fee structure will actually work for you. Okay, and you need to also don't start with 20 or 30 or 40 products. Start little. Start with 5 or 10 products maximum at first. Then you can focus your energy on marketing those 5 to 10 products, and you can get a feel for how it works and what to expect before you start scaling. Because if you scale and things don't work, it takes a lot of time. Okay, it takes a lot of time. So you want to be able to actually do something that actually works. So you want to start a little, and based on, it's like trials and errors. If you start a little, you see how it works. If it works, then you just double down, triple down, quadruple down. That's how you actually operate. Step number 5, you want to launch your store. This is the big time, right? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to make a print-on-demand Shopify store. And the thing you have to understand is that when we talk about store launching, you have checked everything. You have placed a test order yourself to see how your store works, right? It's very important. Don't fulfill the item though during the test process. Don't fulfill the item. Just cancel it as soon as you place it. It's time. So once everything is fine, it's time to launch your store. And basically in the industry, experts call it soft launch. So at this point, you will not be advertising anything. You're simply enabling, the order, so that you're simply enabling the store so that it can take orders. And the reason why you're doing this is because you want to make sure everything works as expected. You know how it runs and how you can solve any problems. Okay, don't be greedy and start actually saying, I want to make money right away, blah, 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 blah. No. The best way to get eyes on your store is to test it through friends and family. Okay, you can ask them what they think. You can ask them their suggestions. You can actually ask them very pointed questions about the look and feel. And make sure they tell them to actually give you their honest opinions. Sometimes, like family and friends, they don't want to bother, they don't want to offend you, so they give you opinions that are not really truthful. But accept the truth and I want you to develop a thick skin. Ask them to criticize you. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's fair game, as a matter of fact. Right, so ask them to actually provide that. And what you will also do is you can actually also utilize Facebook groups specifically focused around Shopify stores. So you have a clear idea, okay, how your products actually resonate with your target audience. And communities on Facebook, for example, can often spot common issues and mistakes quickly. Okay, always rely on the wisdom of the crowd, on the crowd wisdom, always. And the thing is that it's always important to be willing to change your designs at once. Don't become emotionally attached to a design because you like it, whatever, and then you don't want to change. No, you are in business. Your job is to make sales. That's what you care about. Step number 6, think about social media. Social media is very important. Okay, and so if you haven't already done so, now is the time to set up social media accounts for your store. And don't get me wrong, been there, done that. It can be very overwhelming to run every aspect of a store without throwing a social media in the mix, right? Now, the thing here is that you want to think about the social media, like 2 or 3 social media platforms. They are very important for your store, your Shopify store. And the reason why, how do you choose those social media platforms? Well, based on where your target audience is hanging out at. Where do they hang out at? Where are they at? Where are they primarily at? Facebook, Insta, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube. So you got to really think about the one and pick only 2 or 3. Start little and you scale. You know, it's really important. So depending on which network you're on, there are loads of safe ways to build a following also, in case you don't have a following yet. Okay, and we say safe because there is no point in trying to cheat this by buying likes or followers. This is kind of crazy. Don't do this, okay? And the thing here is that if you ever go that route, remember that those likes and followers are almost always junk accounts and will add no value to your page. Okay, they'll bring no sales. They will not rank you better. So do things by the books. You know, you want to work hard. You want to grow from the bottom and actually come on top. It's a lot more rewarding. Okay, so think about your social media strategy. Think about where your target audience is. You know where they love to go to, and what kind of social media actually fits your particular brand. For example, if you have a younger crowd, then you need to have a TikTok. If you have an older crowd or a more professional crowd, then you need to have LinkedIn, right? Those are basic things you have to think about, but you have to have them. I mean, I'm not saying you need to exclusively have LinkedIn, for example. No, you are having Facebook, of course. I mean, based on our experience for the last 15 years, you definitely want to have Facebook in everything you do regarding your Shopify print-on-demand store. And the last thing you want to do here is advertise and scale. Okay, so you gotta advertise, because if you don't advertise, actually nobody will know you, and before you know it, stuff happens and whatever, and so you really have to advertise. I mean, now that everything is in place, the site is live and has been tested, and social media accounts are in place. It's a great time to advertise and start scaling sales. Okay, when we talk about advertisement, we're having you have different ways, but I want to focus on 2 that you might like. So you have a Google PPC advertising, and then you have Facebook and Instagram advertising. So Google PPC advertising, those are product-based ads that top the list of highest converting ads for retailers. So Google Shopping is the #1 provider of product-based ads, commonly known as product listing ads, PLA ads. So what will happen here is that depending on your niche, those ads can prove very lucrative if the margins allow for it. Retailers are also using product-based ads to make a loss break even in the effort of acquiring a customer. So they can then market to this customer over a longer period and become profitable from repeat purchases. And so this is for Google PPC, pay-per-click advertising. You also have the Facebook and Instagram advertising. So since Facebook bought Instagram, they also bought advertising on the Instagram platform on the Facebook. This means that you can serve ads on both Facebook and Instagram simultaneously from the same campaign. Think about it. That's just fantastic. And Facebook advertising is fairly complex because it requires advertisers to know their audience extremely well. If you don't, you'll find out how expensive it can be. We always suggest outsourcing Facebook ads to experienced account managers if you're not clued up on the platform, your target audience, or how the Facebook PISO works. Okay, so this is really important. And so this is really one thing you need to really talk about also is that you want to start slow. Okay, if you want to start off on Facebook advertising, start with a budget of $5 to $10 a day and let it run for a month. You really want to go slow and see how things work. The last thing I want you to do here is to actually scale your score. Not score, you scale your store. Okay, like let's say you have been running ads for 3 months, 6 months, and things have been, you have been very successful, for example, but you gotta scale your store. Okay, and so scaling ads means you can keep control over what you're spending versus your return on investments. Okay, so the second aspect of scaling is increasing your inventory. If you have 5 shirts with, say, dogs on them, you can only sell those to a certain audience, right? That audience is usually interested in dogs. You can scale the inventory by adding another 5 dog t-shirts with different breeds, for example. Another way of scaling will be to diversify and add 5 cat t-shirts targeting cat owners. You could scale the inventory horizontally as well as vertically. Okay, and this is kind of cool. So for example, you can take the 5 original dog t-shirts and selling the designs on phone cases, pillowcases, mugs, other items, and so on. So this is actually an effective way to cross-sell your designs. Okay, so this is kind of cool because if you want to think about it, someone buying a dog t-shirt may be interested in purchasing a dog mug and phone case also, right? And so this is kind of cool. And so this is how you actually do it. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that you are scaling your business successfully and making sure that you're constantly checking revenue to make sure you are hitting your goals. You are actually reaching your goals in terms of revenue, income. And one thing I also need to say here is that at some point you might want to, if you want to sell your business, that's kind of cool too. I mean, it's all about selling your business and starting another one, especially if you are a serial entrepreneur. You have to do it, right? There's actually a great platform called Flippa, and Flippa actually allows you to sell your business, and you can sell your Shopify print-on-demand store there if you're running for a while and you're comfortable that it's making money and you just want to move on to something else. This is a great way to actually diversify your cash inflows and cash outflows too. So thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I was just talking to you today about how to make a print-on-demand Shopify store. Step number 1, set up Shopify. Number 2, add a print-on-demand provider. Number 3, set up designs and inventory. Number 4, set up products. Number 5, launch your store. Number 6, take care of social media. Number 7, advertise and scale. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.